Next up, to put all of this into context, is Penny Frazier. Penny is a tenacious advocate for the youth in care in our province, and I connected with Penny about the magazine Zine and Heard that Penny's producing, and I encourage you to grab a copy outside today and make a generous donation. Over to Penny.
Yeah. All right. Good evening, everybody. My friend Jesse Jams is just one youth from care. In the last count in 2022, there were 7,825 kids in care in Alberta. You might not know that number, and you may not know a lot of the stats that I'm going to give you tonight because historically the voices of youth in care have been silent. Like Jesse, many youth in care end up becoming homeless. In fact, youth in care are 200 times more likely to become homeless than their peers. To give you some more perspective on that, only 0.3% of Canadians have spent time in the child welfare system, but they make up over 65% of the homeless population. They also make up over 80% of all trafficked children and youth. They make up 65% of all Indigenous inmates, 35% of all non-Indigenous inmates. And in a Harvard study done in 2005, it was determined that kids in foster care were twice as likely to have PTSD as soldiers returning from a tour in Iraq. Staggering, right? So here's some other sobering stats. Youth in care are half as likely to graduate from high school, 3 to 4 more times likely to attempt suicide, 6 to 7 times more likely to have mental health issues, much more likely to develop addictions, and 5 times more likely to die before the age of 25. So, since 1987, there have been 75 reports written about what youth aging out of care need to succeed. 75 reports. But apparently, our Alberta government has not read a single one. Because in 2019, Premier Kenney decided to lower the age of financial supports for youth in care from age 24 to age 22. They said it was because there weren't as many youth who still needed supports up to age 24. Not as many. So how many were there that still needed the supports, and why didn't those youth matter? There is a question, that's a question that's never been answered, but here's what we do know. Every year, around 500 youth age out of care in Alberta. So that's 500 youth that are 200 times more likely to become homeless than their peers. We also know that the extra years of support will make all the difference. And we also know that the Alberta government made that decision to lower the age to save $14 million. So following the announcement in 2019, a young single mother from Edmonton took the Alberta provincial government to court because she suddenly found herself aging out 2 years sooner than she had been told. She took them to court and she won an injunction. But instead of the Alberta government taking a step back and saying, hey, maybe this isn't a good idea. Maybe we should listen to this kid. Maybe we will traumatically impact around 500 kids in our care every year by making this decision. But no, they lawyered up and they fought this young single mother all the way until they finally won the appeal, and they lowered the age in 2021 during the pandemic, which sounds like bullying to me. It is interesting to note that Ontario and BC have recently raised the age of supports for the youth in their care. They read the reports, they reviewed the research, and most importantly, they talked to youth in care. But no, sadly, Alberta has gone backwards, and they have saved nothing. And in fact, this decision is costing young lives. The Alberta government since 2021, the Alberta government has spent about $68 million on a program called TAP, the Transition to Adulthood Program. They like to advertise that TAP supports youth age 18 to 24, but they don't. They do not provide any financial supports for youth aged 22 to 24. None. So do not be fooled by the clever wording. The Alberta government will spend about $41 billion on healthcare this year. But they do not have $14 million to support youth in care. You heard the stats? This is a healthcare issue. In 2021, 25% of the unhoused population in Edmonton was aged 24 and under. Now, I can tell you that 20% of those youth were either in care or from care. So, according to the most recent count of unhoused individuals in Edmonton, that would make up about 600 youth from care on the streets of Edmonton. There is a saying that the strongest hearts have the most scars. And I believe that to be true, because youth in care also go on to not become statistics. They fight really hard to beat the odds. They fight really hard to rise above. They become teachers, lawyers, first responders, social workers, youth workers, authors, actors, laborers, journalists, scientists, business owners, dog groomers, horse trainers, tradespeople, athletes, coaches, engineers, and artists. They become filmmakers, cycle breakers, game changers. They become outstanding mothers and stand-up fathers. And yes, some go on to be very cool musicians. And I personally guarantee you that they will be some of the most inspiring, compassionate, and courageous human beings you will ever meet in your lifetime. I have met so many in mine. So, if you would like to see more lost, lonely, scared, vulnerable, homeless youth in Edmonton and across Alberta every single year, please raise your hand. And nobody. All right, so here's what you can do to make a difference. This is your call to action. Now, I did have a slide of Minister Cyril Turton, but I don't know what happened. Anyways, doesn't matter. He's the new Minister of Children's Services, and I want you to email him. All the info is on a pink sheet out on the where the zines are. Your subject line will be raise the age, lower the stats. And on that email, please CC your city councillor, your MLA, and the premier. We even have a letter on our website that you can copy and paste into the email. Or you can call them. Just leave a message that simply says, raise the age and lower the stats for youth in care. Do the right thing. The other thing you can do is support Zine and Heard. Subscribe, make a donation, sponsor an issue, follow us on social media, spread the word. Be an advocate for youth in care. People are really starting to pay attention. We are small, but we are mighty. From all of us at the Zine, thank you so much for listening.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much once again to Jesse Jams and the band and to Penny Frazier. Thank you. Round of applause. Yeah.